Hey guys, welcome back, Kiwi Classics and Customs. Today we're back on the 65. We're going to marry up our nice new WilWood brakes and the Ebrake, particularly park brake, to the stock Mustang handle, the old school pull out of the dash handle arrangement. And so this is what we're going to do. We'll run through it with you. As you can see, we've got the nice new WilWood brakes on here. Up here is your cable. This all comes in the Ebrake cable, park brake cable kit. So we've got this running along here, back over the rail in the factory locations, through here. We'll tie this up to here so it doesn't get close to the wheel. And we bring it forward. These individual cables, they'll tuck up. Now, as you can see, they're very long. They give you more than enough cable. Like, we're going to cut probably 50% of it away. But this will tuck around the corner here, come up to the floor and mount on a special little Ebrake mount that goes about here, and we'll tie into the factory cable, which is just floating around here with nothing to do. So what usually happens is, this is the factory, what's left of the factory park brake lever that's normally about that long, and mounts over here on the cross member, which we've trimmed off. That normally goes here and hooks into the cable there and pivots right about here somewhere. Alright, so we've trimmed that off, and what we're going to do is flip this over. We're going to mount it up here, weld a couple of tabs on to allow that to pivot, so that can go backwards and forwards as the e-brake's pulled on. And then there's a little clevis setup will go on here. It'll come back and marry to these cables as soon as we've got that mounted. So the idea really is to get this cable running to here. So we're going to work through it step by step with you guys, show you how we do it. There's not an absolute golden rule of how it must be done, but we've done this many times on the Mustang using this system, and it works particularly well, so we're going to stick with it. So we've got our little brackets made up. So these two little short pieces are going to weld to the rail. We've welded a nut on there, just to make life easier, and that's going to go about there. Now, what I like to do is, you don't really want this lever at 90, like at 90 degrees to the rail. You want it about here, so that as the e-brake pulls, it'll go, it's rocking, 20 degrees each way kind of thing. So that's gonna pop in right about there. We'll get that burnt in now. Just a quick check, we'll make sure I'm happy with that. Just kind of pulling, I might go up a little bit. About there, it's going to give us a nice straight line pull, straight this way. And yeah, we're looking good. Let's keep burning. Just turn that heat up a fraction. So this is some of the stuff WilWood have supplied in their kit. As always, they've got the right stuff, the right sizes. It's a great product. This is the next step. This is the piece that holds the cables, the front end of the cables. That gives you your adjustment. You can just whiz these around and that'll adjust your e-brake, and you can even it out side to side with the adjustments on each left and right cable. So what we have to do is fasten that up to the floor. What we're going to do is use some rib nuts, which are these little toys here. That's a little rib nut gun. It's basically, it's like an oversized rivet, but it has a threaded hole through the middle of it. And so we get those into the floor. We can tighten some bolts into there. And it gives you a nice big purchase area to bolt it on with. So let's get some holes drilled and we'll get that put in. Shoot under here. Now, getting it nicely lined up, from here, that cable's going to pull from about an inch and a half out from that pivot point. Now that's all welded in. So that lines us up about here. I've already marked it here. We're ready to go. Step up a size now to the exact size we want. Okay, so we put a bit of dum-dum sealer around the holes, stop those rusting. Take your riv nut, spin that on, just see it coming through. Work them up there, and you just pull the trigger like a rivet gun, and you're just doing, and that's it. Now I've got a 1/4 nut mounted into your floor. Again, just squeeze it in. You'll feel when it starts to just not want to give anymore, and that's when it's completely crushed. And screw it out. And we're ready to bolt something into the floor. Right, so that's going to go there like that. The e-brake cables, part brake cables, are going to slide into there, and that's how we determine, our length to cut them. And we'll come back to that. There's no real science here. It's just what's a good, convenient kind of spot to do it. Obviously, it needs to be a straight pull. You don't want to mount it too far forward, because then it's going to come up at an angle and back to the cable. This way, mounting it here, it's a straight shot. You do need to keep everything as straight as you can when it's going through these fittings and hanging onto here. Obviously, your cable can bend almost wherever you want it. But yeah, that'll go into there. The inner cable will continue out, and we'll attach onto here with that little double clevis deal. And yeah, making progress. Right, let's carry on. Right, time to cut our cable to length. I've added a couple of the P-clamps that you saw over on the bench. They're going to tie the cable in about here, push it up above the muffler there, and we're going to need this cable to be about, obviously it's got to fit down inside this little fitting, so that's going to mean we want about that much. So let's get a little bit of tape and mark it, and then we can cut it. Now, I've done this 1 or 2 times, so I'm pretty confident about kind of what length I need to cut it at. So, but if you're doing it first time, give yourself an extra 6 inches, and you can always trim it off later once you get all the P-clamps screwed into place, and this is still a bit long, trim a bit more off. It's very hard to add it if you cut it too short, but it's easy to cut some more off. So, right. So as you can see, you throw away a fair bit of cable. They're pretty generous, they give you plenty. Now there's this little aluminum fitting that comes on the cable. That's going to slide down here. And that is going to pop into there. That goes in there. That's kind of your outer cable, about ready to go. What we can do is now slide the inner back through. Again, lots of it. There we go. Pull that inner cable through. Hook it back onto the little lever. A little lever here that hooks over. Like so. Through here. Yeah, that's going to go to there, and we'll have a parking brake. So we'll do the other side quickly, and we'll show you how to set up the front end. So, second cable routed. Again, just marking the length. Have to cut quite as much off this side because it's got a little bit further to go. That'll pop into there. It's all looking quite nice and tidy. Yep. Connect the other end, I guess. There. Pull that up tight. And here we go. That's ready to connect with our clevis device. Got the cables through. This is our the final piece of the puzzle. That's going to pop over the arm here. Drop the little pin through. Like that. And that gives you that's your connection. The original Ebrake cable is going to be there, and we're going to get this. It stays there, that kind of pull. Alright, now you slide these through. To back that off a fraction more. There we go. Little wee set screws up in here, that'll grab the cable. Pull that through. And then you kind of, that's it really. Tighten your set screws up. I just do them lightly at first so you just make sure you've got them. You haven't missed anything. Because these do, when you tighten those up, they dig into the cable. But yeah, step back, have a look at what you've done. Everything's running pretty straight lines. That's going to pull on the e-brake when you're tight. And yeah, we're pretty close. We'll get this locked down. We'll cut these short. You just want to leave a few inches out. Now when you're setting up, you've got adjustment here and here. So when you're setting them up initially, have this wound as far back that way as you can, because then you can tighten it up. And the same with this outer cable, have that all the way in so you can wind the cable back, and you can, you know, as things settle in and find their own space, you're going to need to tighten it up a little bit. So make sure you've got them adjusted that way rather than the other way, and you've got no room left to tighten them up. So yeah, we're going to button this down and see how it works. Back in a sec. Quick little tip: when you're going to cut these cables to length, they really want it, when you cut them with a cut-off wheel, they want to spread out, splay out, fray out, one of the three. Give yourself a little bit of heat shrink. We already slipped some on this one. Just slide it up the cable. Heat shrink it on. Now, do you have to do this? No, you don't have to do this, but it just looks a lot nicer. Okay, I think we're about ready to test this, aren't we, Barry?
Yes, sir.
Drop it down. Yeah. See how she does. Let's try it. It's coming out a nice distance. Yeah, that's not moving. Okay, that's working great. That's another job off the list. We've still got a couple to do, so we're going to keep at it. We'll come back to you soon with another video. Meantime, have a great day. Take care of yourselves. See you guys.